Tamam dostlar, ben seninle birlikte bu
Hey guys, Super over at my and in today's video we are reacting to a brand new screenshot for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Now this released today on Mob Entertainment's Twitter account, and above the image there's a little bit of text which says, "New Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 teaser trailer arrives the 7th, 26th, 23, which is obviously the 26th of July 2023, which is next Wednesday. So the teaser trailer is actually dropping one day after the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin DLC releases. So next week is going to be very, very busy for me because I'm going to be doing a full trailer breakdown and reaction for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, as well as a full playthrough of Security Breach Ruin and lots more videos on that game, secrets video, story explained, all that good stuff. So next week you're going to be seeing a lot of videos from me, kind of like this week with My Friendly Neighborhood. It's very busy on YouTube for me at the moment. But it's not a bad place to be, you know, it's not bad to be busy when I'm covering games I really enjoy, so this is very exciting. More content for July, which is already a packed month. But let's talk about this image, guys. Let's break this down, let's see what we can see. So front and center we have this toy Huggy who has been mauled and torn to pieces, covered in blood, and of course, leading up to him you can see these giant claw marks etched into the concrete floor, which means the claw, which is kind of around Huggy on the top there, is very, very powerful. It's able to cut through concrete, which is pretty nuts. Now, again, we must have a look at that claw and say, well, who does it belong to? Obviously, we haven't seen any enemy currently in the game that has such a claw. The prototype's claw is completely different, it's mechanical. Bronze foot wouldn't be like that because it would be red and it would also be flat like a dinosaur foot. Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy both have slightly different colours to them. Well, Kissy Missy very different colours, and their hands are completely different as well. It doesn't belong to Boxy Boo as far as I'm aware, because Boxy Boo again is a completely different colour and Boxy's claws look very different as well. So who could this belong to? Well, I think it belongs to a mascot that we haven't yet properly seen, and the only one that I can think of would be Candy Cat. Candy Cat matches the colour, but also Candy Cat is a cat, and this claw looks very much like the paw that would belong to a cat, like a lion or a tiger. So I think, strangely enough, this claw belongs to Candy Cat, which is...
Candy Cat olması ihtimali sıfır. %0,000,000 işte.
Very surprising, because I always thought if we saw Candy Cat in the game, it would be a kind of friendly character, kind of like Kissy Missy was, a character that would help us. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It seems like Candy Cat is going to be this big enemy. I mean, you can see the size there. This is a toy Huggy Wuggy, I assume. I assume that's not the actual Huggy Wuggy. If that's the actual Huggy Wuggy, then this thing is huge. But based on the size of the tiles around this Huggy, you can seem to deduce that it's a toy version.
Huggy Wuggy bazı dönemlerde biz arada bazı videolarda ben istiyorum.
Like one of the little mascot toys you can buy. So based on that, the scale of this cat would probably be roughly the same size as a lion or tiger. And so it's probably going to be a fairly big enemy and also a fairly fast one, because obviously cats, like especially like predatory cats like lions and tigers, can run very, very fast. So it seems like the new enemy in Chapter 3 is indeed going to be Candy Cat, which is a surprise. I don't think many people were banking on Candy Cat being in this chapter at all, let alone as the main enemy. But that's what mob games are kind of good at doing. They subvert our expectations, and they give us things that we're not necessarily expecting, which is what we got with Mommy Longlegs, of course, in Chapter 2. None of us were expecting to see a character like that. And it was really, really awesome to see it, because Mommy Longlegs was really well designed, really scary, and very well written as well, I must say, and had this really gruesome demise as well. We also have to remember that Candy Cat has always been drawn with a very long tongue, so it might be that Candy fires out her tongue or his tongue, wraps it around the player and then pulls them into its mouth, which would be really terrifying, especially if it can then claw them as well. I think it's going to be a very interesting enemy to face off against. The placement of Huggy Wuggy is also interesting because, guys, you'll remember that in Chapter 1 we defeat Huggy, and Huggy falls all the way down into the lower levels of the facility, and then in Chapter 2 we saw patches of Huggy's fur running up this particular wall of this room in a blood trail, and we had all speculated that Huggy must have survived and crawled into a vent, or had been taken away perhaps by the prototype like Mommy Longlegs was. But based off what we're seeing on this teaser image, it seems to be implying that Huggy may have been taken by Candy Cat. Obviously this isn't the Huggy, it's a toy version, a smaller version, but I think it's basically saying, yeah, the reason we saw that blood trail was because Huggy did die when he fell down, and he was then taken by Candy Cat and perhaps eaten, because we know these toy mascots are carnivorous.
Candy Cat de yani bir korkunç bir karakter. Evet, Candy Cat olma ihtimali yani sıfır. Gözleri biraz kırmızı. Ama Candy Cat olamaz. Bron?
Using both the antagonists of the new chapter, both the enemies we'll see. So Candy Cat will be one, and the other one will be Bron. In fact, if we do brighten the image slightly, we can almost see like a dinosaur-like silhouette around the eyes that looks very similar to the shape of Bron's head. Now that could just be me seeing things, it might just be, you know, the mist around the glowing eyes, but I do think they belong to Bron. And this is going to be really cool if we get both Bron and Candy Cat as the enemies in Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime. So I think this is what the teaser is showing us. We're also going to encounter a larger version of Bron than the one we saw in that initial VHS video a little while ago. One that is perhaps the size of the toys we saw in Chapter 2, the ones we moved around the warehouse, but this time come to life and stalking us throughout the level. It's going to be interesting because I think both of these characters are going to have their own type of gameplay and will have to be defeated or perhaps evaded in different ways. You know, with Mommy Longlegs, obviously she had great reach and we had to run away from all her hands, we had to trap her in that room. I think these enemies, we're going to have Candy Cat as the fast enemy that can chase us really quickly, and we're going to have to escape really fast from Candy Cat whenever she shows up or he shows up. And Bron is going to be a far slower enemy, but perhaps a more powerful one who, if we're caught by him, it's like an instant game over. But with all that said, I think that's all we can really take from this image. However, that is quite a lot of information, and with the teaser trailer coming on July 26th, which is next Wednesday...
Biraz güçlü bir karakter ya. Bu çok güçlü. Hayır. Abi bu hangi karakter? Bunu bilmem. Ama bu biraz kendi Cat'e benziyor onun dediği gibi. Ama neyse.
We will be seeing hopefully our first look at environments from this new chapter, and perhaps our first look at what either Bron or Candy Cat actually looks like. And then I think it's going to be teasing a month when it releases, and my hunch is that Chapter 3 comes out this September. Now I don't know anything, I haven't got any insider information, but based on the timing of this reveal for the teaser trailer, I think September seems very likely. And of course my channel will be covering this in full. We'll have a full playthrough, secrets videos, a theory video or two, a story explain video, and a video looking at all the new monsters, all the usual stuff I like to do. So do be subscribed, have your notifications on. As soon as it drops, we're going to be covering it and just kind of blitzing through it and putting out as much content as we can to do with the chapter, because I always get super hyped when a new game comes out I'm excited for. As you could probably tell yesterday with My Friendly Neighborhood and all the uploads there. Go and check that out, by the way, if you haven't. It was an amazing series and one of my favourite games this year so far. With that said, guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you can leave me a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I will see you all on the next one.
Ama bu Candy Cat'ten biraz daha da güçlü. Teaser trailer da bitti. Ama teaser trailer'ın anlamı ne? Anlamadım. İnşallah 3'ü bana oynattırmazsınız. Ben niye dislike attım lan? Bana kırdım. Neyse arkadaşlar, bu video bu kadar. Hemen çok seviyorum. Sağ olun. Bye bye.